are. I don't want to miss anybody out there that's tuning in. So we'll give you just a few seconds here. 10 seconds. Maybe I should have done it 20 seconds. The amount of time it takes to wash your hands nowadays. But let's actually get started with this live vlog. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're not going to be taking live questions today, but if you have any comments, just post them below and then I'll get back to you after this live stream. But I do have a special guest today. Before we get to that though, I want to start out with the latest numbers from the California Department of Public Health on the positive cases of coronavirus. Now, this was just posted about an hour ago on the California Department of Public Health's website and also social media accounts. We have, as of an hour ago, 1,733 positive cases of COVID-19. There's 24 federal repatriation flight cases, 1,709 cases not related to those flights. There's 120 travel associated, 165 person-to-person transmissions, 474 community acquired transmissions, 950 cases that are still under investigation. There are 27 deaths, 26 are California residents. The 27th is a non-California resident. Yeah, so you can get more of that information at the CDC website, which encompasses the entire nation, and then from there you can kind of find information on at your local level. Just follow your local officials' Twitter's accounts as well. They put a lot of great information out there on social media, and of course your local media, trusted local media. All right, so I really want to introduce my next my guest today, Danielle Radin. I hope I'm saying that correctly. We kind of went over this before the stream began. But she is in my opinion, an excellent journalist. So here we go. Danielle, hi. Can you hear me? And how are you?
Good. How are you doing? Staying safe out there?
Oh, yeah. Definitely working from home since last Thursday. So that's actually... I'm having a blast doing that because it gives me an opportunity to do things like this, a live blog, and I'm working still on my podcast and, of course, work. So I'm doing all these creative things while I'm...
All the side projects you always wanted time to do and didn't have time to do. I get
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Well, what about you? How are you holding up?
Not well. No,
Oh, no.
I'm holding up the best that I can. It's a interesting and unique situation that I'm in. I was about to start a job at CBS Los Angeles, and my start date got pushed back in the 11th hour because of coronavirus and all the craziness that was happening. So I'm a little bit between jobs right now. I have a job lined up, but I don't know when it's going to start. So just been kind of, like you said, working on side projects and doing things like that, trying to stay occupied and not think about the near future because I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think you're in a position where a lot of people are, and it's easy for folks that can continue doing their jobs, especially their jobs remotely. I do digital for a living, so my job I can do anywhere, really. But then it's easy to forget that there are folks out there that may be in between job transitions or have lost their jobs, and it's a reality that we're living in now. It's no longer, I think the LA mayor Eric Garcetti put it best, where he says, there's no sugarcoating this, and I think you're in a spot where you should have started work. And I gotta say, I'm a fan of your digital work. You have a really good digital footprint, and now that you're unable to do this at this time for this company, what is it that you are dedicating your time to at this time? Now that we have to stay at our homes, basically.
Yeah, well, it is definitely a chaotic time, and I especially feel bad for the people that have actually been laid off because of coronavirus. A lot of those restaurant workers just don't have a job anymore. And, luckily I have some savings and I'm doing just fine. But if you try to call the unemployment office for California right now, you can't even be in the waiting queue because it's so busy. It just boots you right off the phone. And so to stay busy, I've just been doing side projects like you mentioned. I'm doing some social media consulting. I always kind of had a dream of starting my own social media business. So I've been busy with that. In fact, I'm going to go see a client right after this. But besides that, I'm tutoring some students remotely online just because they can't go to school. And so I'm teaching them English and history and just hoping that they don't fall behind in school. That's just kind of a service that I offered to my followers on my social media platforms, just in case they did feel like their kids were going to fall behind from not going to school until the fall in some cases. Um, just talking to people on Instagram, on Twitter, and really trying to console them because everyone is in such a crazy time. And FaceTiming with family and friends and starting this website and that website and reading a lot of books. I think I've watched everything on Netflix that there ever was ever. So, just trying to keep busy in that sense.
Well, any good shows on Netflix or any of the other social media streaming platforms?
Just kidding. It's funny to me that a lot of people are watching Pandemic on Netflix, and I don't know why because we're living in it. You don't have to watch it. This is our life now. But I have been watching a few different shows on there. Let's see, I'm getting my platforms mixed up because I also have Prime and HBO Go. Um, I've been watching a series about the Unabomber, which is really interesting. I like those true crime stories. Making a Murderer is always a good one. And then highly recommend McMillions if you do have HBO Go, by the way. McMillions is awesome. Um, and there's a movie called Frank and Lola. There's Marriage Story on Netflix, which was nominated for an Oscar. So that's all I got for right now.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of time to watch all this stuff now. I think yesterday I was watching, National Treasure 2, actually. It's a
There
movie
you
I've
go.
been, yeah, it's a movie I've been meaning to watch for a while now. And yeah, yesterday I had a little bit of time. I'm trying to, still continue my level of work and work ethic while I'm still at home. So that includes Monday through Friday, kind of just zero in, dedicated to work. And then once the weekend comes, besides doing these vlogs, which to me are a lot of fun because there's no notes really, there's just us talking. I just tend to relax a little bit more, just grilled. Over the weekend, I was pulling weeds from the backyard. Um, and it's just I try to relax my mind, trying to turn off all the news, of course. So what I've been doing, especially on the weekends when it's my time to relax, I wake up and maybe just do a quick little summary of what's happening that morning, and then shut that whole thing off until the evening when I do another recap of what changed from the morning to the evening. What's the latest news on that? But I don't stay on my phone or looking at the news every single waking moment of my time off. So what is your process like to still be informed, but not to a point where you're gonna go crazy?
Yeah, I think that that's really important for a lot of people because they are at home. So it's easy to turn on the news and get spooked. Or in my case, I'm looking at my news on Twitter all the time. I'm constantly updating it to try to. At some point, you're right. You just have to put that stuff away and try to not focus on it because we can't control it. We don't know what the future is going to look like even in a week from now. And so there's no use stressing about it right now. And that means forcing yourself not to consume every new update. It's certainly important to stay informed and know that this is a very serious and contagious thing. You should stay inside. You should look at your local mayor or whatever city you're in and see what the health regulations and standards are there. And then once you know that information, try not to dwell on it. Do the things that you like to do projects around the house that maybe you haven't gotten to. I had this blank canvas in my closet for like a year, and I finally painted on it because there was just time to do that, and I didn't want to look at the news anymore. So yeah, it's important not to be driven by fear. Don't make any rash decisions when we're in such a unusual time. People are asking me on Instagram, should I move out to California? Should I do this? Should I do that? Don't panic. Don't make any major decisions, and don't look at the news so much. That's my advice.
Yeah, that's good sound advice.
Good.
And I don't know if you can hear outside. There's a loud helicopter. I think that might be the LAPD airship. It's one of the many ships, I guess, that could fly out there. One of the many aircrafts that can fly, because there's also been a grounding of flights. I have my in-laws coming to visit in July, so hopefully, that trip still happens. But one of the things I was reading today, and it was no surprise to me, but I woke up to a push alert that said that several of the spring breakers that went out to party in Florida now have tested positive for coronavirus. I mean, is that even surprising that even happened? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because to me, it's just
no. Look, I mean, cops have been doing things that they should not be doing forever. That's why there are frat houses and sororities. That's why kids are drinking before they're 21. That's not surprising whatsoever to all of us. That what party worth it? No, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and it looks like we might be having some. Yeah, and Danielle, it looks like we're having some internet connections or some connection issues on your end over there. Your camera froze a little bit.
Who are perfect.
So hopefully it'll come up. Yeah. So you're cutting off. So it's no worries. We're just gonna let the video catch up, and then we're gonna come back to you. Yeah. So these spring breakers, basically, what happened was there were at least 6, from what I was reading on the news. There were 6 spring breakers that got tested positive. 5 of those were traveling in the same pack, and then one more. Who knows where they were at the time, but they were not part of the same group. But you get these masses of people gathered on, the beaches, and now you have this irresponsible act that leads to, getting coronavirus. And that's one of the concerns that Mayor Eric Garcetti talked about yesterday. There was a press conference on Sunday, and he announced that there's the order now has extended to closing all beaches, closing parking lots that people normally would take to park and walk to the beach. So these areas that are large gathering grounds for people are now closed to avoid something like what is now happening in Florida. All right, Danielle, so we're coming back to you. It looks like your video looks perfect. So what is it that you were saying? Because yeah, that's the beauty of going live. You just don't know what's going to happen. Yesterday it was me. My camera kept freezing up, and I had this goofy look on my face, but it's it's all good. It's all good. So what is your point again that you were making before we had that little technical glitch?
Yeah, I mean, I think that college kids, since the dawn of man, have been doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. That's why frats and sororities exist, so that kids can drink while they're still underage. So, of course, it's not surprising to me that some kids went out on spring break. It's super unfortunate that they got coronavirus because of it. And you have to ask yourself, if you are of that age, if you're Generation Z, is it worth it? Is that party worth it? Absolutely not. Nothing is worth getting coronavirus. You never know how it's going to affect your system. Just because you're young doesn't mean that you're immune to anything that might come of it. And you could spread it to your family. So just don't do it. Stay inside. Go to the grocery store if you want to have fun. It is so fun going to the grocery store now. That's like my favorite thing to do.
Really? Please talk about that experience. And do you finally
So
have toilet paper?
Well, because I'm between jobs, I like to browse the aisles and not buy anything. But if I do happen to see a can of tuna for 69 cents or a box of mac and cheese for 39 cents, well, then I have dinner for the night.
It's almost like a scavenger hunt nowadays. I haven't
Right? Because this is on the shelves anymore.
exactly.
Yeah.
The only time that I've actually gone out and done something was on Saturday when I went to pick up food for my dog at the pet store, and that pet store was open, and we did that. We did that. There was no line or anything. However, my wife went over to Vaughn's that same day. No, actually, oh yeah, that same day, and yeah, there was a line. She told me she was waiting in line for 15 minutes before she actually got in, because they were only letting a certain number of people in at a time. And once she was in, and it looks like my camera just turned off, so it's all good, because all I have to do is just turn it back on, and bam, we're back. We're back, baby. So she was waiting in line for about 15 minutes. Finally got in. Out of all things, macaroni salad was still available. There was all the canned goods, she says, were pretty much gone, but she was able to get like the last can of baked beans from some brand we've never heard of before. But hey, trying something new, they weren't that
Oh
bad.
yeah, yeah. I'm shopping off brand. You will not find me buying the Kraft mac and cheese. There is the lower cost mac and cheese, and it's just as good. It's noodles and cheese. It's all the same stuff. But yeah, I've noticed that at every grocery store I've been to, which is quite a few because it's my hobby now, there's always cranberry sauce, and that's about it. Cranberry sauce in a can. Nobody likes cranberry sauce. So I think that's really the lesson that we can take away from this entire pandemic, is that nobody likes cranberry sauce.
Yep. That's good. That's good. What's the weirdest thing you've made since this whole thing broke and you've had to go to the grocery store and find like the bare bones of something like your cranberry sauce? What is like the
Oh,
weirdest thing you've made?
I'm just combining things in my fridge that are probably going to go bad soon, making concoctions that I can't even really repeat here because it's so repulsive. Um, but that's just what you got to do. You got to use every single resource that you have. So I couldn't tell you what kind of abominations I've been working on in my home, but they're certainly not edible.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, we did a Costco trip the week before the safe at home order was put in place in Los Angeles. And then, of course, that same day, there was a press conference by the governor, Governor Gavin Newsom, who put a statewide stay-at-home order, which basically does the same thing as Mayor Garcetti's order, but it applies it to the whole state. So now everybody's being asked to stay at home, and some of the things that you can do. In fact, you know what? I'm going to punch up that card that has the order. So let me see how I can do it here. Again, it's live, so anytime that I can bring something up here, there we go, to kind of help me out to help visualize what the order is. Now, this is the order from Mayor Garcetti. And he actually tweeted this out the day that he held the press conference. And this order is actually effective until April 19. Now, with this other order here, well, actually, this is the same order, but this slide actually shows you the basics of what you can and cannot do. Grocery stores, of course, are at the top of the list, so you can still do that. But there's a ton of other stuff that is just you can't really. You'd have to go to a special website to look at all that stuff, because there's certain things at the microscope level or the micro level where people are asking that they're not sure of. I mean, I had to call the pet store. Well, my wife did. She called the pet store to figure out if they were open, because we just didn't know. So like the barbershop too. I mean, the order goes in effect for about a month, right? So my hair grows within 3 weeks. It's like this. It's just a mess. So I cannot go.
Houses with big poofy hair, unshaven. I'm doing my own nails. It's not going well, as you can see.
Yeah, that's one of the things about this order. It's that you've been ordered to stay home, not go to work unless you're an essential employee, and journalists do fall under the essential employee list. But places like nail salons, barber shops, I think even pet groomers, they just don't fall under essential businesses. They're in the non-essential list, so they have to close down. So that's one of the things that my wife also tells me, like, oh, I'm so glad I got my nails done before this whole thing broke, because if it hadn't, then there goes the chance to do that and take care of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is nice to have that time to yourself, but it also gives you new skills. You can go on YouTube and learn how to cut your own hair. I don't recommend that, but you could do it. You have the time to learn new stuff, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to bring up this website here, coronavirus. It's corona virus.la/FAQ. That's for all the frequently asked questions that pertain to this order, such as, can I go get my nails done, or can I take my pet to the groomer? So I'm just going to leave it up there for the time being, so you can have a chance to write it down or go visit it. But it's a lot of great stuff there. And again, this pertains specifically to the order put out by Mayor Eric Garcetti, but most of the stuff, all these officials are basically in the same book, whether you're a state official or now at the local level. So most of these places and things that you'll see on this website, if not all of them, do apply to the nationwide, or the statewide rather, order. But what other adventures have you gone into, Danielle, with just trying to keep your sanity here with everything that's happening?
Well, the thing is, my sanity was long gone before this pandemic, so that helps a lot. But I think that it's important to just realize, for a lot of people, that this is going to be the new normal for a long time. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, I wish it could go back to the way it was. It's not going to be that way for a while. And so humans are great at adapting to their circumstances, and that's just what we have to do right now. There's going to be more shocking information that comes up in the next coming weeks. It's going to be scary. It's going to be uncertain. I mean, they're thinking about canceling the Olympics in Tokyo. So it's just a matter of holding on to hope that, although things may look a little bit bleak right now, things will turn around eventually, but we don't know what it's going to look like. So just try to live in the moment now and do things that you can do now to bring yourself happiness, and try not to dwell on the future and what might happen then too much.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I was just actually reading about the Olympics being postponed, and such a I mean, it's understandable why they're doing all of this, but yeah, sporting events have been canceled, and entertainment too. You can't go to the movie theater. You can't do things that you would normally do that you wouldn't think it's a big deal. So I think, we live in a democracy, but to have these freedoms just being taken away from you suddenly, I think it does play this psychological thing, because now things that you would normally do now and maybe taken for granted now might give you a new perspective in life. So I think at the end of this whole thing, and you can let me know if you agree or not with this, but I just feel like at the end of this, people are going to appreciate the smallest things that they have.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you. This country was founded on people that came from other countries because they wanted to come here to do what they want to do. And that's what this country was founded off of, those civil liberties and freedoms to do what you want. And now that does feel like it's being taken away from us. And that is something that kind of makes you feel like you're in a cage a little bit. But I think that you're right too, that people will start to appreciate more things that they were taking for granted before. I wish I could just go and hug my sister. That's the biggest thing I'm missing right now. I can FaceTime her anytime I want, but now I'm going to hug her so much more and hug my family so much more once I can, and it's just simple things like that that really make you think that you got to be grateful for those little things.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the time when the philosophers can actually come up with good stuff and rise to the top, just like people that are in the creative field that do digital work. I've been noticing that there's a huge increase in people putting out videos on social media, and more content being created for online purposes, just from people that are not, they don't work for Netflix or Hulu or any of these other entertainment companies. It's just regular people like you and I that have a camera, and they feel like they need to get their voice out there and connect in some level with the world. And a lot of the things are sold out. Some of the things that you would think like, oh, never in a million years will they be sold out. Like, for example, the way I can connect to my professional camera here is via a little adapter that, you wouldn't think it would be sold out, yet now it's out of stock. Graphics cards are out of stock. Companies that have ordered laptops are on back order. So there's all these, I call them gadgets or toys, tech toys that are now out of stock, because I think a lot of people are wanting to create, content to just get their opinions and voice out there. Have you noticed anything like that?
Yeah, sorry, that's the Roomba talking in the background.
No
Yeah,
worries.
I think I think that people kind of had that mindset before coronavirus. That's why Twitter's so popular, because they want to go out there and say their opinions. That's why YouTube's so popular. But now people, A, have more time to do it, B, they're bored, and C, they want to give people hope because it's a very depressing time, to be frank. So it doesn't surprise me at all that people are using this time to have a platform to kind of not only give hope but give their opinions of what's going on. And I think it's a good thing because it gives people more stuff to consume, so they're not just consuming the news and getting sad about that like we were talking about before. And I think that as long as it's a positive message and it's something that gives people hope, or at least gets their mind off of things, it's good, and it's something that we should embrace.
Exactly. Well said. Danielle, before we end this, do you have anything else you want to add? Any advice, positive vibes, anything? I just want to give you the last word.
Sure. Yeah. Conserve your toilet paper.
Yep.
My grandma said that
Yeah.
during the Great Depression, they used newspapers. So
Hmm. Now
hopefully
you.
it doesn't come to that. That's my biggest fear. My biggest fear right now is seeing an empty toilet paper roll. That is my biggest fear. So
Yeah.
just try to conserve what you have. Try to make one meal into two meals if you can. Try to set aside a little bit of money if you can. You know, a lot of people can cash out their Venmo. They might have a little bit of money in PayPal or maybe in the Robinhood app. You were trading stocks. You'd be surprised where you can find $10 here, $20 there. Make sure to keep that just in case because you want to have a little nest egg. We don't know how long this is going to last, and you want to try to conserve and do your part by staying inside and not spreading this around.
Okay, exactly. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Danielle Radin MMJ. That stands for multimedia journalist, not medical marijuana. You can find me on Facebook at the same handle. You can find me on Twitter at Danielle Radin, and I'm on TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. How is that going for you? That's one platform I have not tackled.
Oh, I wanted to try to relate to the kids, so it's fun.
The Spring Breakers.
Yeah, not them.
All right, Danielle, it's been a real pleasure having you on this live vlog today, and really wishing you the best. I think you're in a tough spot, but I really hope that you're able to start work soon, because I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, I like your reporting, and I also like your digital footprint. I mean, you're like a jack of all trades, basically.
Well, I appreciate that. And anyone that has any, concerns about unemployment or is feeling a little down about their jobs, you can always contact me. I know what you're going through. And thank you so much for having me on this program and spreading the word.
Of course, anytime, anytime. Thanks again to Danielle and to all of you that tuned in to watch this live vlog. I'm doing these daily vlogs, so I'm gonna try to do one each day. There's obviously gonna be sometimes maybe when I can't, so in those cases it's okay. But just follow me on my social media accounts, and I'm actually gonna bring it up right here. So on Instagram, I'm All Flores News. I've been posting behind the scenes stuff there. It's more at a personal level, and then of course my Twitter, Flores. I've been doing a lot of retweeting on my days off, also when I'm working, and I'm actually about to start work in about a little less than an hour here. I'm going to be posting updates on the coronavirus and other stories, and I'm hoping there's when I can, I like to share a positive story. So I'm always on the hunt for positive news, especially in these times, trying times, and I'll put those out on my Twitter account. And of course, if you're watching this, you know that you're on my Facebook page. So follow me there as well, like it, and that way you'll stay informed whenever I do these daily vlogs. You'll get a little alert saying I'm live, and then you can just tune in and watch. And of course, always feel free to comment on the section below. I'll get to your comments after this. There's going to be a point eventually where I'm going to be doing live questions. So that's going to be something very special. Thanks again for everybody that tuned in to watch this. And I'm going to be uploading this video, this clip as well, to my other social media platforms, including a YouTube channel that I have set up. So I'll put that link on my social media platforms here. Again, everybody, stay safe out there, and obey your local health officials' orders to stay inside and practice safe health techniques to avoid getting sick. Thanks again, everybody, and have a fantastic day.